Hi there, my name is Dawn Priolat, and in today's video, what I'd like to talk about is self-forgiveness. Maybe you've been on a date, maybe things didn't go well, maybe you had a fight, a misunderstanding, maybe it's over, maybe you don't know. Whatever the case is, if you're like me, and you're one of those intellectual people, book smart, knows a lot about a lot of things, you're probably criticizing yourself right now and saying, I should have known better, I should have done better, I'm smarter than that, I should have handled things differently. In other words, you're blaming yourself for everything that happened or didn't happen, and we need to just knock that off. Because that's not going to get you anywhere. Because it's not about being up in your head and figuring things out. That's not the problem. It's not about being smarter. The truth is, no matter how smart you are, anytime you go on a date, anytime you come into a relationship with someone else, there are two people that are both bringing their childhood wounding into that relationship. And because the truth is, most people haven't really done the deep work that it takes to really release all of that childhood wounding. And then you both just start reacting to each other based on your childhood wounds, taking things personally, not asking the right questions, sometimes not speaking up loudly enough or telling your needs in a way that can be heard. So let's just do some tapping about this on self-forgiveness, because here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to do what I did, because a few years ago, I completely shut myself down for 7 years because I did some things that in my eyes were irresponsible with regard to dating. I did some things that I feel I shouldn't have done. They were mistakes. And what happened was, for the next 7 years, nothing happened in my dating life. Absolutely nothing. Even though I was out there, I was in the university. I think I'm fairly good looking. I mean, I'm not not too hard on the eyes, and yet nothing was happening. And when people would ask me, why aren't you dating anybody? To my knowledge, it was just, I'm open to dating people, but I'm just not meeting anybody. That was my excuse, because I didn't really understand myself. That on some level, on a subconscious level, I was actually punishing myself for the mistakes that I made. And, people like us who are very knowledgeable, very expert in what we do, we know a lot of things. Maybe you have a lot of degrees, a lot of certifications, and you see yourself as being such a smart woman. When you make a mistake in a relationship, you tend to really, really take over where your parents left off, with the criticism, with the should have known betters, all of that stuff. If you think your parents were harsh, it's nothing compared to what you do to yourself with the criticism. So I really want to do some tapping with you today to work on some self-forgiveness. And this is going to apply really to you probably in so many ways. I actually don't think there's a person alive who couldn't benefit from this particular tapping, because we all have this going on to some extent. So anyhow, let's just start off by tapping on the karate chop point. Even though I totally screwed up I know I did because it's my fault. It's always my fault. Because it always ends up this way. There's always a disagreement, there's always a misunderstanding, and it's usually, well, always my fault. At least that's the way I feel. It's all my fault. Because I should have known better. After all, I'm a woman. I'm supposed to be the keeper of the relationship. I'm supposed to be the one who's supposed to know everything. And once again, I screwed up. And there's so many things that I wish I could have or should have done differently. But I can't should have done something now because I did what I knew how to do at the time. And I choose to love and accept myself, and I choose to honor myself and how I feel in this moment. Even though it's all my fault, I screwed up. Maybe I didn't speak my truth. Maybe I didn't know how to speak my truth, because let's face it, I didn't really learn much about that when I was a child. And even when I did try to speak up when I was a child, nobody listened to me. Nobody ever heard me. And it's kind of been that way my whole life. So maybe I felt like it wouldn't do any good anyway. Even though I feel like I totally screwed up again. And there is a part of me that's afraid that, wow, if I just keep screwing up like this, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. I choose to love and honor myself, and I honor how I feel about this. Even though I feel really sad because I screwed up again, and I'm afraid I'm always going to screw up because that's what I do. It's what I do best. I'm really, really hard on myself because somebody has to be. Maybe I feel like I have to take over where my parents left off. Maybe I feel like I have to be critical. I have to be judgmental of myself. Because, well, that'll help me improve, right? I can see that that worked very well for my parents. It made me really improve. All their criticism, all their not good enough that I was taught all my life, that I can never do it right, can never do it well enough, never do it well enough to be loved, never do it well enough to be accepted, just never good enough. Never have been, and I'm really afraid I never will be. But I choose to love and honor and accept myself even though I feel this way. Now let's just tap through the points. I screwed up again. And I'm really afraid it's always going to be this way. I'm really afraid I'm always going to be alone because I always screw it up. Because I'm good at screwing up. I should have known better. Maybe I should have taken better care of myself. Maybe I should have paid more attention to how tired I was. Maybe I should have paid more attention to my needs and expressed my needs better. Maybe I should have spoken up. I just should have done better. And I didn't. And I never do. And I'm really afraid that it's always going to be this way. I'm always going to be doing something stupid in relationships. And every time I do something stupid, that person walks away. And that's the end. And it's all my fault. Because what I did was unforgivable. Totally unforgivable. And maybe that's the problem. People walk away from me. People find what I do unforgivable because that's what I believe. I believe it was unforgivable. Is that really true? Is it really true that what I did and what I didn't do is really unforgivable? Maybe it just feels that way to me right now. Okay, let's just stop for a second. Take a deep breath. And you may need to tap through this round again because you may still be feeling a lot of sadness, a lot of recrimination, a lot of still wanting to be critical of yourself. And so that's okay. You can always go back and redo this. But I want to do one more round, and I want to hopefully bring us to a more positive way of feeling about this, and a more positive way of looking at it. So, on the karate chop again, karate chop point. Even though I screwed it up, that's right, I totally screwed it up, because that's what I do. Even though I have some anger about this, some defensiveness about this, because maybe part of me is wanting to push this person away. Because I want to, even though I'm feeling hurt right now, maybe what I'm really trying to do is to avoid an even bigger hurt. Maybe I'm wanting to end this relationship before I can get hurt even more. Before I invest more time into this and more of my heart into this, it's easier to just end it now. And maybe that's why I sabotaged it. And I love and honor and accept myself, even though I always do this. Even though I screwed it up again. I'm going to choose to forgive myself this time. I'm not going to consciously or unconsciously stop dating people. And I am going to choose to the best of my ability to love and forgive myself, even though I didn't get it right. Even though maybe there are some things I could have done differently. Well, I can't should have done something because it's already in the past. The only thing I can do now is maybe think about some things that I can do differently next time. But right now, I choose to forgive myself for not being perfect. It's okay that I'm not perfect. It's okay that I don't always know the right thing to do. And it's okay that I don't always do, quote unquote, the right thing. Who knows what the hell that is anyway? Even though I have beat myself up about this, and I've beat myself up my whole life for all the so-called mistakes that I've made, I choose to love and forgive myself. And I choose to know that whatever I need to know so that I can handle things maybe in a better way the next time, I will know what I need to do differently. If there's a boundary that I need to set, I will think about and choose a better boundary for what I need to do next time when I'm in this situation. If there's something where I need to speak up more, I need to express my feelings more. I choose to think about how I can do that and to have a plan for how I can do that better next time. After all, I am a work in progress, just like everybody else is. I'm not perfect, probably never going to be perfect in this lifetime, so I'm going to just choose to forgive myself about this and just know that I am growing and I'm learning more and more all the time. And it will get better. It will get easier. And I choose to love and accept myself, and I do forgive myself for not being perfect, for not always remembering who I am, and for not always speaking my truth when I need to. I choose to forgive myself for that. I had parents who taught me very well how not to speak my truth, or on the other hand, to speak my truth so loudly and so violently that it really scares people away. So I just honor the fact that I did the best that I knew how, given my background and everything that I learned and all the things that I probably need to unlearn. And let's tap through the points. I choose to love and forgive myself, even though I'm not perfect. I don't always make the perfect choices in relationships. I choose to love and forgive myself, even though I feel like I kind of screwed up. Even though maybe there are some things that I could have done differently. Well, then I'll do them differently next time. But the truth is, no matter how perfect I try to be, there's always going to be times when I'm going to make mistakes in relationships. I'm human. There's always going to be times when I'm kind of going to do something or say something that I'm going to regret. Or maybe I'll regret that I didn't say something. There's always going to be something that I shoulda, coulda, woulda done differently. And I am human, after all. I'm having a human experience. I'm not perfect. And right now, I'm going to just choose to forgive myself about this. Forgive myself for not being perfect. I'm going to choose to love and forgive myself. And then I'm also going to be open to learning more about whatever it is that I need to learn so that I can maybe handle things in a better way the next time. Because there's always going to be a next time. There's always going to be another situation. And maybe I'll handle it the next time better. And take a deep breath. So I really hope that this is helpful to you. Please, if you screwed up or feel like you screwed up, things didn't go well on a date, or maybe you just broke up with somebody, please forgive yourself. And thank you for doing that. Because when you do that, it's making the whole world a better place. So for now, this is Dawn Priolat.